keeping the metaverse track going. And I'd like to invite Dan and Jeremy up. I can see Dan joining us now. Hi, Dan.
Hi. How are you doing, Sophia?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
All good. Yeah. Looking forward to the chat. Thanks for having us again.
No, thank you for being here. And I believe we've got Jeremy here too. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Where are you both at the moment?
We're both in London, but not in an office. We're in separate locations, obviously, because of everything that's going on. But we're firmly rooted and grounded at the moment, unfortunately.
How is the weather down there? Up here in Liverpool, it looks like it's about to storm, but it's holding off at the moment.
Blue skies, no clouds.
Yeah, oh, well, that's nice.
Nice down here.
That's nice. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you guys are both ready, then I will let you share your screen. I know that you've got some videos that Katie's going to take care of. Just one thing to remember is after we've shared the video, you'll have to reshare your screen. But don't worry, I'm here in the background in case anything's missed or anything like that. And yeah, I'll let you guys take over. I'll be here in the background if you need me. And remember to everyone in the chat, keep the chat going and throw in your question and answers for Dan and Jeremy.
Great. So my name's Dan Potter, Creative Director at Creative Works, and Jeremy here, Jeremy Leeor, he's our Managing Director, and we co-founded Creative Works in 2013, but we've been working together for well over 10 years. And we're here today to talk about the our use of Unreal Engine. I've got a presentation to share, which I'll bring up now. So I think if that's sharing okay, I'll go through it. So as I say, yeah, we're here to talk about why we use Unreal Engine and what we do. We're a content creation studio. We're based in London. We sort of specialise in bringing brands to life, I think would be the best way to describe it. We've sort of been around for a while, and we've been involved in lots of brilliant projects for people like Fox Sports and Guns N' Roses and many others. We try and sort of like develop things that are different, I guess. And that's a bit of a cliche, but we try and find something that's different. And we've had lots of great opportunities over the years to sort of prove those ideas, those skills of bringing brands to life and then executing them in interesting places. We've worked with a lot of clients over the years, a lot of big names, from Premier League teams through to huge brands like Coca-Cola, but Guns N' Roses, Fox Sports are very important to us. We've worked with a few boy bands here and there, beer companies, rock bands, and tech companies as well. So we've done a lot of work across a lot of different projects, and we sort of want to get a little bit more in depth in why we're using Unreal Engine to deliver content for across brand, film, live, social, and broadcast, which is kind of where we live a lot, and that they're the projects that we get involved in. We also recently, over the weekend, actually, we delivered a mobile game and a music video for a band called Dead Daisies, who are kind of wanting to forge new ground. And I think we're one of those creative teams that are coming out of the traps, I guess, from the pandemic with some of these skills that the real-time skills. A lot of what we were looking at, me and Jeremy were looking at in terms of live events and XR and VR and AR and all these tools that then became quite important a year ago due to the world shutting down. We were in and amongst that anyway, way before that, but we kind of like forged our own path and started developing new projects and products for our clients. We did a few music related projects, and we did a broadcast project. We did lots of work in XR, sort of developing for when the world went back to normal, and we needed to be prepared. And we've been continuing to hone those tools. I'll talk about a little bit of around the tools that we use and what are the important things to us out of the process. What have been the highlights of what we've been discovering in that journey collectively as a team. Myself as a sort of like a project director, creative director, and how we're sort of leveraging all of that to create these projects for these great opportunities that have come along. And then we'll discuss a little bit about where next. You know, obviously there's, you know, the live shows coming back at some point, and you know, the continuing efforts for clients to create high quality work. There's obviously NFTs, which we're getting quite involved in as well. It's that sort of move in that direction appeals to us. But yeah, I think it's so early that everyone's finding their feet. And then you know, there's obviously the obligatory where to find us element. But going back to the talk, we released Daisy's Revenge, a mobile game over the weekend. We'd started doing this in November, and you know, it was new ground for us, a mobile game. But we felt like we could do it, and we used all of our skills and our tools, and recruited the right guys, and brought the right team together with our own existing team of generalists, and we delivered this little sort of fun shooter game, which is out there now. It's on the app stores and in the Android, Google Play, on Android and iOS. And we also, in conjunction to that, we released a music video, which were done in Unreal Engine. And we've been on the Unreal Engine vibe since late 2017, 2018, and it's taken us a while to build the skills up. But around 2019, we at the end of 2019, November, we launched the first live event-based content, Unreal Engine-driven piece for Guns N' Roses, and that really sort of cemented our love for that tool in being able to create lots of content across lots of different deliverables. So we
Dan, can I just jump in just quickly?
Yeah,
just sort of with an eye on the subject matter of this talk, you know, the future of interactive entertainment. What we've done here, as Dan has sort of articulated, is that we've got the mobile game, but the mobile game is featuring music from the band's album, which also then ties into the music video, which will then tie into the live tour. So whether you're playing the game, whether you're watching the music video, whether you go to a show in the future, the DNA and the experience is gonna feel like it's all coming from that same hand. You know, for want of a better cliche, you know, gamification of the music video, you know, ties back to an actual game itself. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, we've got I think, can you play the videos now? So there's the Daisy Revenge trailer. We'll play 2 videos back to back, and like no other music video, to show what we ended up producing for the Dead Daisies Unreal Engine driven content.
fall down, down deep in the landslide. Oh my, you lose your head in the music, move on from kiss the sky. You slip away and refuse it, do or die, do or die. You're like no other, can you feel my baseline? You're like no other, you're like no other, you're like no other, can you feel my baseline? You're like no other, you're like no other. Give it to me, now give it to me.
So that was I'm sharing my screen back, I think. They were the two pieces that we produced, the game and the trailer for the game, which a lot of the content was driven by Unreal Engine. And this goes on to the next part, which is why we're using Unreal Engine. I mean, there's so many elements there's so many reasons, especially for us as content creators, why we would want to go down that route. And one of the main reasons for me is it's we're often working to deadlines and timelines, and you've got to produce things high quality. They've got to be done well. It's you've got budgets to think about, and you don't often have a lot of time to actually get things done generally out in the real world, especially if you're working in live events and you're working with rock bands and branding companies like Fox Sports. They're very demanding, and you need high quality all the time. And Unreal Engine as a tool fits that perfectly. And so for us, it's always we've always striven to be able to do a lot with a little, or do a lot with as little as we can, almost like Elon Musk's reusable rockets, where you can kind of you spend a lot of time building a really high quality piece, but it does a lot once it's built. And that's kind of our philosophy for this. And we've got this sort of approach, this universal content creation approach, where we want to build for brand and film, social media. A lot of what we do, the clients often ask, can we get that into social media? Can we get that? What else can we do with this beyond what we've got? And that's a strategy that we go in with. And we use a lot of tools, productivity tools, to decentralized productivity tools to get the work done across distributed teams often. Especially in the pandemic, we were working in separate rooms, so it was really important that we leveled up. And obviously things like Zoom as well, super important to our process. And then the creative tools, these are just some of them, but some of the significant ones, which kind of dovetails neatly into Unreal Engine being the sort of we looked at other options, but Unreal Engine came about through the use of the need to create content using Disguise for live shows. So it was driven by the necessity for us to create content for live shows. And we kind of we looked at all the options like Unity, and we ended up with Unreal Engine just purely because it suited the pipeline that we were working in, and it fit the bill of everything we needed. And so that's kind of why we ended up there. And this was the sort of this piece of work here was the sort of penny drop moment in many ways, actually seeing it live, this infinite canvas, because we actually had a restriction here in this is in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and we came into the show with our content, but all of a sudden the content canvas got pushed super wide from what would have normally been a typical 16:9 format. It went super wide. Unreal Engine, we were able to go in there, and it was serendipitous that it was that first show that we delivered this content on. Everything was crisp, pixel perfect. There was no scaling of content. Often when you're rendering quick times, you've got that problem of what do you do if you go into a weird format situation like we had with Coachella or various other live event scenarios. But this is where Unreal Engine did what it said on the tin, and it was the Swiss Army knife. It was able to go in and it scaled the content perfectly, and it was the solution. But Jeremy, I don't know if you want to talk about anything on this, but it was a pretty significant moment for our client, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I've just been answering some of the questions in the chat. I mean, what happened here was the realization that on a sort of dime, you can pretty much snap to fit content. So back in the olden days, to sort of do these kind of things would have meant pulling things back into the studio and re-rendering, and being able to sit in that Vegas show in the Coliseum with a band, Guns N' Roses band manager next to us, and one of the Axl's agent sort of saying, can we just do something quickly? In their world, if you ask for stuff to get done, it does happen quite quickly. So that was a great moment. That was a justification of the technology, through the Disguise media server with the Unreal plugin, that you can do these things as a sort of being sold to these guys. So it's opened up lots of possibilities for us for future tours. Had COVID not happened, some of that would be seen. Fingers crossed in some of the Guns N' Roses tours of this year or next, whenever they may happen, you'll see some of the Unreal Engine integration being brought into those live shows. Yeah,
and here's we can't resist it being branding. Let's own our own way of branding the Unreal Engine content, and this is kind of our live show take on the Unreal Engine logo, which Epic approved, and we use that to top and tail anything that we do. It's one of the things, but we then so from this point here, when we start creating these worlds in Unreal Engine and using them live in the live shows, we then use those skills to develop, for example, the Bustle and Flow video, which was all in Unreal Engine, and that was the sort of the backbone of our creative tool set. Really, everything funneled in, and once you get your head around how to bring that content into the game engine as a content creation team, you're off to the races, so to speak. So we use it for so many content creation processes, and we're also here. This is us experimenting. Disguise kindly let us use their studio space for a day to road test some of the content, and it still needs to be refined and tweaked, but we've got a fairly strong handle on how we would want our content to be seen in an XR AR type setting. This is the Guns N' Roses show content being run in an XR context, and then this is us working with Fox. They wanted something that could. This is a broadcast ad that would go into one of their pre-game for pre-game advertising. We did this little advert for them, and it was all generated in Unreal Engine, but we showed how easy it was to sort of snap it into XR and run it real time, which is kind of what their aim is as well, to produce high quality content that runs real time. And with a 4.25 and being able to level up the look and feel of everything. These things are going to be game changers in the next 2 or 3 years for sure. And then we used Unreal Engine to build the game Daisy's Revenge, generate all the trailer content, everything that we needed to produce to promote the game. It was like a one size fits all tool for everything that we needed. And being in branding, part of the strategy, what we're doing with the Dead Daisies, is to bring their brand to life. And this was the Bustle and Flow version of the Dead Daisies skull. But the Like No Other version of the skull, we constantly want to innovate the brand so that it tells more stories. Basically, you can tell more stories with it, give it that flexibility. That's kind of a strong strategy for us. And also here, bringing characters into Unreal Engine, developing them, going through that process. It's once you get your head around how you're going to bring everything in, Unreal Engine won't blink twice at you throwing a big high-end asset in there that's been crafted, and you can bring all sorts of elements into it that really bring the ideas to life, and then the team that it takes to actually execute those ideas. It's a different level of skill set. It's not as intense as the skill set that you use to build the model, the assets and the models, but the guys that then animate and work in sequencer. It makes that easy to the point that me as a creative director, I can jump into the sequencer and block out my own shots for the other guys in the team to work on and work into and make better. So most of the 99% of, I'd say, 97% maybe is in Unreal, and then we use After Effects for little extras here and there. But the amazing thing for me is the being able to build these environments. This was the environment for Like No Other. In a matter of a week, we had an environment. Once the concept was done, and I knew as I was developing those concepts how long it would take me and the team, because I'd sort of said, here, I'm doing some sketches, I'm doing some ideas. It's incoming. Can you start thinking about it? And it took about a week and a half to build the entire setup from a lot of content that was existing, and we made our own bits here and there. We were able to do a lot with what was already in the ecosystem to enhance what we'd already had. And this is sort of working in the sequencer, being able to work through, block out the whole story. And I literally went through 2 or 3 days, blocked the whole story out with the content at one point. And then it was then a case of just working back in with the team, adding the effects. And we worked in this, with plastic in this case, but we've used P4V, and the decentralized process for us, half of it is being able to use those tools as a team. That's the challenge. But, visual effects is another important part. You can create these such high-end visual effects very quickly. And very, once you've got the idea down, everyone's on board with it, then to go from a concept to execution in real time using the game engine, it's just such a good way of working. Obviously, like dynamic lighting and being able to go in and light the scenes, see them in, the animators can then go in and work into the scenes and work with real-time feedback on how things are working, how the shots are working, where the lighting's coming from. And so that's kind of once you get over those as a creative team, you're then able to do a lot with this tool set. That's what we love about it. So that's kind of an overview of where we're going. This was kind of like setting up some of the animations development. And so, summary, there's a lot of things that have come out of that in our sort of 2 or 3 years that we've been working with Unreal Engine in both the live, the broadcast, social media. We've been doing lots with the tool itself, being able to sort of like adapt to the real world shifts. Clients want more, quicker, and high quality. Brands need those stories. Once we're a small team, so we can move quickly. We can move faster than Fox Sports to a degree, although they're definitely keeping their finger on the pulse and they're ahead of us in so many other ways. But Guns N' Roses have benefited a lot from us being able to create this high quality content and then expedite it across the entire set very quickly. So yeah, we've had a lot of success with it. You know, there's so many things that have fallen out of this journey, and I guess, you know, hopefully this could be interesting to those that are on this talk. And you know, where next? We're definitely, you know, we've got an eye on live shows coming back. In what capacity? You know, they could come back big, they could come back medium. Who knows? You know, bringing content into the shows. You know, the IMAG sort of usage and XR projects, integrating the live show with the content itself. These are all things that are available to us with the tool set. You know, VR, AR, and then obviously those NFTs. You know, from this world that we've built, we can then go and create 1,000 NFTs. You know, are they worth anything? You know, who knows? And it's those journeys that we're going on to explore and find out what we can do with the work that we've created. So I think that kind of wraps up talk. If there's any questions, does that sound good?
I've answered, Dan, don't know if you spotted it. There's a Q&A chat. I've answered a bunch. And,
yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi. Normally we would go through the question and answer now, but I know Jeremy's been going through the questions as you've been talking. And given that perfectly brings us to time, I think, you know, you guys have covered everything lovely there with a fantastic talk and sort of multitasking with the questions at the same time. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you for the invite.
No, thank you. Really interesting talk, really fascinating. And yeah, thank you for being here and, you know, doing part of my job for me. So yeah, thanks guys. And yeah, look forward to learning more soon.
Great. Thank you.